What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome to my builds guide and unit review of Summer Male Shez. So he's a free-to-play lance flyer with 183 BST and he actually comes with a preferred weapon in Surfer's Spade. So this is a 11 might dual phase brave weapon which gives him plus 5 speed. He doesn't really get any kind of other extra stats out of this weapon, but still no penalty for a dual phase brave weapon is really good. And this means that he can just vantage sweep in the enemy phase and also hit really hard in the player phase. And he also gets the true damage based on 20% of his speed, excluding the AoE specials. And his speed is really high at base 44 for a free-to-play unit, and he also has a super boon on it. So at max investment, this can definitely result in some nice true damage. And then finally, he has got Neotrace built in this weapon, which is really helpful because even if he runs something else in his slot B, he's not going to be having the opportunity cost where he's going to be missing on running a trace skill. So that is really fantastic because we definitely have seen some nice slot B skills for the flyers in last couple of months, and Shez is going to be able to make amazing use out of those with this really good preferred weapon. He also has a base attack of 44, which is really good with this kind of dual phase brave weapon, and he's overall a really solid free-to-play unit, even though this kind of weapon is not the most insane that we've seen, but it's still really good for free-to-play standards, and he's gonna be a pretty good unit with this kind of weapon at max investment, which you can definitely try and do because he's a Grail unit. He also brings attack speed solo 3 at 5-star and shield defense 3 at 4-star. So finally, the solo skills are available in the Grail pool, and especially attack speed solo, as it's a pretty nice budget skill, but many people who are going to be investing heavily into Shez are going to be missing out on this fodder as it is going to be valuable, but at the same time Shez is also a really good unit. So overall, his offenses are really good with a speed super boon, and this kind of dual phase brave weapon without any kind of penalty is amazing. He also has access to a lot of really good flying skills like Guard Bearing 4 and Guidance 4 that we have seen in last couple of months. So with this good preferred weapon and these flying skills at max investment, he can actually function as a really good lance flyer, which is amazing for a free-to-play unit. Now unfortunately, he doesn't really have Swiss Slice like female Shez, so his nuking potential is obviously going to be lower than her, but still nonetheless, male Shez is absolutely no joke as a free-to-play unit, and even without Swiss Slices, I do think that he's pretty good. Lance Flyers is a pretty competitive class, even though male Shez ends up having a really good weapon. If you've already built up a lot of Lance Flyers before, then he might not incentivize you too much to invest in him. If you're going to be building up Shez on a budget, then you can definitely give him Speed Smoke, as that is going to be helping you outspeed many of the units, and it does help with his high speed stat. You can also give him attack speed solo Sacred Seal and you should be fine, but if you're going to be investing a bit more into him, then definitely giving him something like Dive Bomb is going to be helping you. Now he doesn't really have null follow-up in his weapon or even half null follow-up, so follow-up negation units are going to be able to stop his quad attacks, but you can definitely try and outsource null follow-up from some other unit like Fallen Lilith or Kadean Lind if possible. But even without that, he's going to be functioning well with this kind of Dive Bomb build, which you can try and get from Divine Codes, and also attack speed catch 4, which you can also get from Divine Codes, and it's just a better slotted skill for him, and it doesn't really have the proximity limitation of a solo skill. You can also give him speed defense rain, as it is going to be working nicely with this kind of build and a more player face focus skill like Dive Bomb. And then if you're going to be max investing into him, then giving him Guard Bearing 4 and Guidance 4 is definitely going to be something you should be doing, because Guard Bearing 4 is an insanely good flying skill that can give you a lot of damage reduction, not only in the enemy phase but also in the player phase, and the speed debuffs also help you in this kind of speed creep metagame. We also have Guidance 4 as an amazing flyer skill, and using this build, you can definitely use him in summoner duels, and he can function as a pretty nice front liner because he's not going to be dying instantly to red units like Brave Seliph or Legendary Nana. So Guard Bearing's damage reduction definitely helps him in the melee matchups, and him being a blue unit is also really good, and he can just enable the teleportation with Guidance 4, which is also really amazing. So these two skills are going to be the absolutely best skills that you can run on male Shez, and you can also get attack speed unity in case you want to run him with maybe Legendary Male Robin. That is going to be helping you just have even more offenses, and it does protect his offensive stats from debuffs, and it is overall a pretty helpful slotty skill. And Ruptured Sky can also work, as that can help you get more damage against Dragon and Beast units, and also against many of the high attack units that we have been seeing. You can also take a more player-phased route by having Surge Sparrow and Flow Guard as his slot B and slot A skill. So this allows you to get some healing by using his special and getting the half null follow-up out of Flow Guard. And this is really good because he already has the Trace skill built in his weapon. So again, it's not going to be an opportunity cost, which I mentioned before, and he can still function with the Trace skill in his weapon and still getting the half null follow-up. So this kind of player phase build is possible, and you can also run him with a Clash skill and attack speed Oath 4. So Clash skills do count the spaces moved even if you jump by teleporting, so that's why the Oath 4 skill is always going to be having good synergy with the Clash skill. So this is also an option, and it does give him a lot of offenses and also gives him attack and speed debuff neutralization. You can also run him with the Rain Snap skill, which we have seen on Bright Seri, as this is going to be giving you the extra movement, and that is perfect with the Clash 4 skill. So that could be run with the Flow Guard skill and also attack speed solo. Even though I would say that something like Guidance 4 is much better than Rain Snap, still it's going to be an option if you want to run the Clash skill and get the extra movement on Shez consistently. You can also use him competitively in Aether Raids offense as a Vantage unit because of having this kind of dual phase brave weapon and also getting the true damage based on his speed. So he can be run as a Vantage unit, and because Shez is pretty fast, he's going to be able to avoid many of the wind sweep effects, which is really helpful, and not get swept by something like Legendary Alm, for example. So he can be used with this kind of build, and he could be run along with Spring Bernie, Winter Bernie, or even Brave Lysithea, so that he can use your assist to basically set up and get into the Vantage range. Distant attack speed solo and brazen attack speed can give you the extra offenses and also the raw attack power, which he can definitely utilize by being a Vantage unit. And you can even give him a special charges status effect from Na or like Legendary Hinoka, and he's basically going to be able to trigger Moonbow on his brave hit, which is definitely going to be elevating his potential as a Vantage unit. Because of having a preferred weapon, Shez can also function in the arena, and even though he's not the most highest scoring unit in the Grail pool, he's still a pretty solid arena unit because of having the Trace skill built in his weapon, which means that he can just enjoy the Trace skill while still using Guard Bearing 4 in his slot B, and he can also provide you the Guidance 4 support. So if you're running a high scoring unit like Murdoch, for example, then the Guidance support is going to be helping you so much. Or if you're running Legendary Edelgard, the Guidance support is just too invaluable in Arena in my opinion. And Flyers do have a lot of favorability on the Arena map. So having a flying unit in your Arena core is not the worst thing if you're going to be investing heavily into Shez. And like I said, even though he doesn't really score all that high, I think he does make up for the fact that he can function well in the combat and even take on some of the archers with IO Shield and the damage reduction from Guard Bearing and provide you the guidance support. And distant attack speed solo is going to be helpful so that he can take on the range matchups. And even though he doesn't really get any kind of extra bulk out of his weapon, Guard Bearing 4's damage reduction is completely insane, so it is really helpful to tank many of the range units with this kind of skill and just kill them, and you can definitely make use of this kind of build for the arena purpose. And then finally, if you do want to give him Arcane Lewin, then that's also an option at max investment because ultimately he's a fast lance flyer, so if you want to get the full null follow-up, then Arcane Lewin is going to be the option. And you also get the true damage still from this weapon, so his damage output doesn't really change too much. It's just that you lose out on the dual phase brave effect and the Neo Trace skill built in his weapon. But still, that is a trade-off that you can take if you just want to have like a full null follow-up and dull speed defense built in this kind of weapon. So Arcane Lewin is still going to be an option, which I know many people wanted to give to him before they saw that he actually had a good preferred weapon, but still it's going to be an option nonetheless. Make sure to share this video with your friends if they're trying to build up Summer Male Shez. I definitely went over a lot of options for different game modes and for different uses. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and a comment, helps you tremendously. And if you really enjoyed, you could always support me directly by using super thanks down below or by becoming a YouTube member. And for more FEH videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as all of the other free-to-play lance flyers without a preferred weapon, seeing Male Shez enter the Grail pool. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.